There we are. Hey, Mr. Kennedy. Good
Hey
af-
there.
Can
Yes,
you hear
sir.
me? Okay, even though we know your name is Dr. Mother Love, you would be Mr. See,
Okay.
all this
I'll
stuff.
correct that. I'll correct that.
You'll correct it. It's all
Yes,
right.
I will.
And
Yes.
speaking of corrections, there's so much talk going on about these new weight loss drugs. Ozempic is at the top of the line. I bring this up because I have type 2 diabetes. I've had it for years. And when Ozempic came on the market, my doctor was trying to, different things because I know that they're practicing medicine. And so she said, well, let's just try this. And for those of you who know me, you know that I've been, on my trek and changed my life, changed the way that I look at food because I'm an emotional eater. And so I was like, okay, we got to do something. And I remember my doctor said to me, he said, Mother Love, you got to start getting that weight off of you. I know it's made you a bunch of money. But I want to let you know that uh, obesity and early heart disease, I know runs in your family ever since I've been treating you. And then he had said, you got to do something about this. And I remember coming home from one of those fancy Hollywood parties, and I felt like I couldn't. I was leaning on the rear carpet on the little tussle. I don't know what it's called, the tussle thing, but this where they have it roped off. And I remember we were at a James Brown concert, and I know I have diabetes, and during that time, I was like, okay, this is what I got. This is what I got to deal with, and everybody thought. I mean, I remember leaning on the pole and people coming over to me saying, Mother Love, my love, you feel all right? You feel all right? What's going on? I said, I don't know. And you were right there standing because they always ask me, well, where's Kennedy? If they don't see you attached to my hip. And I was leaning on the red carpet rope and I just felt awful. Oh, I felt the life draining out of me. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't say a word, not one word on the way home. And we were over in Hollywood and we live further south or west or wherever we live. And I got home and I drug myself through the living room. And I thought I was dragging myself to the living room. And I stopped in the kitchen and I leaned on my counter. And my husband said, what's wrong? I said, I just don't feel good. I just don't feel good. I didn't feel right. And so we went to the doctor and they were telling me, you got to start taking some different diabetic medication. And so I said, okay, let's try it. So then fast forward, they put my new primary care physician, well, she's not new anymore. She said, let's try this. And I said, okay. And she said, it's called Ozempic and you have to take it and, you inject it into your body. Inject what? You want me to do what? Who say what now? So when she told me that, I thought, am I more afraid of sticking myself or asking my husband to stick me to put this medication to help me manage my diabetes? And I was like, I don't think that I could do this. And then one day I could do this. I still prefer my husband to do it. Hey, Kennedy. And I was just setting
Hey.
it up because once I got on the Ozempic, this started happening at the beginning of the year. I go call to refill my prescription. They go, oh, we don't have your medication. I'm like, what do you mean you have my medication? She goes, we don't have Ozempic. I'm like, wait a minute, but that's a drug that I need to help keep my blood sugar stabilized, among the other things I needed to do as well. And I'm telling y'all, when I first got on the Ozempic, I had lost 41 pounds in almost like 3 months. And I was starting to look really gaunt. So I called my doctor and said, this don't look good. I don't look good with this. And we sat down and we talked about it. And I said I would do that. So fast forward to not too long ago, a lot of people that, because this is a country of morbid obesity. Our children are obese. And I'm not talking about fat. I'm talking about obese where this could change, this could shorten your life. And so I said, okay, I couldn't get my Ozempic for like almost a month. Was it almost a month, Miss Kennedy? That I couldn't get
Yeah.
it. And
Yes.
and I felt side effects. I mean, I didn't feel well. I just simply didn't feel well. I had no energy, and I could feel myself like plummeting, plummeting, plummeting. So they finally get the Ozempic in. I started back taking the Ozempic, and then it started to seem like it was a pattern. I go to the drugstore, or you go to the drugstore, and I say, they tell me, oh, we can't get your medication. So now it's a new thing. They send me 6 weeks, but then they tell me after the 6 weeks it's gone. So I got to wait 57 more days to even get my medication. Okay, so fast forward. I'm like, what's going on? There's so many people being diagnosed with diabetes and having to take this drug. They were taking it to lose weight. And they said that's one of the side effects of losing weight. So I want to know, because there is a major obesity problem in this country. What, Mr. Kennedy, do you think about them taking these drugs, that they're like jumping the shark or not really concerned about the side effects?
Well, first of all, how many people do you honestly think is concerned about the side effects? I mean, if we was actually truly concerned about the side effects, all medication would be approved by the FDA. Not that you can have some that are not approved by the FDA and some that are.
Mhm.
You know, if you say I'm doing a vitamin, well, that doesn't fall under the regulations of the FDA.
Mhm.
And people will always want to find a quick cure to lose weight, because what we quote unthink about being the ideal size is somebody is a thin person, or not, or even if you're thick, you're not heavy, you're small to medium, be where they will want everybody to be in this world. But everybody will never be that small or medium sized person. You will have large people, and that's part of the stigma that goes with people gaining weight. Why people were shamed when we were growing up. It wasn't a lot of heavy kids, but that number was starting to grow,
Mhm.
and people criticize people who are overweight and say, "Well, why are you overweight when the majority of everybody else is not overweight?"
See, that's body shaming, and it was
Well,
going on for years.
I mean, it's gone on before we were born. That is something that's always gone on, because if you think about human beings in general, from the beginning of the time, we didn't have any overweight people because it was so hard to get food to start with.
Well, then
So,
how do you
I,
explain the artist and the Rubenex
okay, I'm about
period
to.
when they were
Okay,
painting large women naked?
okay. And when during that period, it wasn't all everybody. Now, it wasn't all women were large. No, it was only the women that lived in the palaces, the queens, and people of their ilk. It wasn't the common people. Were not the common people. Most of them were starving. In reality, the majority of us were starving. We didn't have enough food. So if you're barely eating enough, you're not going to be overweight because you're not eating.
You're not.
Okay, you're not consuming enough food to start actually gaining body mass. And the fact that when they painted these pictures of these particular women, it was at a time when they had these uh, women that were in the palace that were allowed to become heavy and overstay. It wasn't the people outside the palace that was heavy. It was basically the women who were there inside the palace.
Right, because they could eat
They could afford it.
and be gluttonous, but to say that it's, everybody wasn't starving. And then as we move forward, and I understand kind of sort of like where you're coming from with that about, being heavy and all. People used to call me heavy and say, "Oh, you walk so light to be so big," or for a big girl, you dress really nice. You always look nice in your clothes. As a big girl, I'm surprised that you could wear these high heel shoes and stilettos. And it was that was people's issues. That was not my issue. And
It
people,
may
and see,
not have been
they
your
had the
issue.
whole fat shaming thing, and going on, and bullying and what have you. I mean, I remember growing up, and we might have had two. They didn't call them fat; they called them pudgy. We had two
Well, I mean,
pudgy
some
kids,
people
and
call
over
them
the
fat too. I
summer,
mean, just be real. Some people did call them. I mean, because it wasn't a lot of fat people then. It just simply wasn't. So you did stand out. I mean, if somebody was heavy set, yes, they did stand out, because the majority of us were not.
Okay.
That's just part of reality.
Okay, but that doesn't make a lot of sense, to say
What do you
that,
mean it doesn't make sense?
because what you said was it was a lot of people that were heavy, and that was
No, I didn't say that was a lot of people, but I said the majority of us were thin. There were few people that were overweight. That was not something that was real common unless that person had the means to be able to eat enough to become overweight. Most of us were never overweight, and that's why. I mean, for over the
okay. Can we
century, it
can
was
we scrap the history lesson and go back to Ozempic and why I couldn't get my Ozempic because people are coming up to get prescriptions and they don't have diabetes. My
okay.
concern is have they really fleshed it out through what the side effects would be, and then people get
Okay, and
confused
I
because
said no. And I
what?
said no. I said no, they had not flushed it out because once people, the general population, found out that people with type 2 diabetes was taking a drug that also helped them to lose weight,
Right.
somebody was willing to try it and say, "Oh wow, I'm starting to lose weight because it's giving me the same effect that obviously it must be giving the people with type 2 diabetics, where it's curbing their appetite, and they're lose because they told everybody when Ozempic and stuff first came out that it said, by the way, you may lose some weight, along with exercise
And a
and a
change in
diet.
diet.
Okay,
It's
because
only a tool, and they're rushing in like it's like the cure all. Oh my goodness, I could take
but it
this
is.
injection
Okay,
and I'll be
but
all
it
right.
is. But it is wait a minute. It's a cure-all for somebody. Wait a minute, who's not a type 2 diabetic and wanted to lose weight, and said, if I start taking this drug that even though it's for a type 2 diabetic, it will give me the same effects as far as curbing my appetite, and I will lose weight. Okay, now they weren't asking about side effects. They were saying, okay, I can get that effect that is doing to people who are type 2 diabetics. Well, it's controlling their weight, it's controlling their blood sugar. I'm not worried about my blood sugar. I'm worried about losing weight or me not being able to control my appetite. And once the doctors sign off on it, because doctors had to sign off on it because this is not an over-the-counter medication.
It is now.
What now? But when it first came out, though, it was not over the counter.
It was not.
But
I still have to get a prescription for mine.
okay,
And
well then,
let me ask you this, because now this was like kind of frightening to me. And what the people that don't have diabetes who are using this medication, because it's only good, once you get them. Mine come in a little vial, a little strip, and you go once a week and and inject yourself. Okay,
okay, and that's the same thing everybody else is doing.
I understand that, but a lot of these people do not have diabetes. And because it is so expensive, you want to get it over the counter, it starts at $900 and can go up
Okay,
to
but how's that stop? Wait a minute. The reason why you couldn't get it is because it wasn't
there
the
was a
fact that they
shortage.
wouldn't have produced it enough. Is
Right.
that people who were not type 2 diabetics said, okay, I don't. It doesn't matter to me that it costs $1,000 to get a month's supply. I will still have a month's supply, and if I continue to take this, I will start losing weight and have the effect that I want to have. That is why the market exploded, because people found out, ooh, all I got to do is I had to go to my doctor and convince my doctor to write me a prescription, because you had to have a prescription to get it. So people went to their doctor. So when we say, how did this get started? It's because the doctors were willing to write people prescriptions for it.
Well, they can buy
That's
it.
how the shortage, isn't that how the shortage came? Because doctors started writing people who were not type 2 diabetics
Will you
prescriptions to
please
get
stop
it.
saying diabetics? We're not diabetics. We have diabetes.
Okay, okay, however you want. What
Okay.
I'm saying is that it changed when doctors said that they were willing to write people who were not type 2 diabetics to start writing prescriptions for them to get this medication. That's when the shortage occurred, though, right?
Right.
When the doctor, it wasn't you, it wasn't nobody with type 2 diabetes. It was the doctor telling somebody else who was not a type 2 diabetic to say, okay, this medication that I'm giving to my type 2 diabetic people really is show remarkable ways of losing weight. That they're losing weight, and they didn't even have to try it as hard. And then other people say, well, I want a prescription. So what? I don't have diabetes. The doctors created this because the doctors had to write that prescription. You just couldn't go in the store and get it. The doctors had to write it.
Because it was by prescription, and now with
Only.
all the and what was they they have the commercials for Ozempic and what's the Mounjaro and Wegovy, and it's all in this. It's the all the same medication with a
It's all has the
different name.
same active ingredients that
It right.
causes you to suppress your appetite, to get you to not want to eat, but they
Well,
also
see, it's
test.
not. Well, the
Yeah, it does
byproduct
suppress your
was
appetite
it
because
does. It does. It makes you feel full sooner, so you stop eating. And it
okay, well, you can lose weight without that, though, right? I mean, that's the main ingredients, and that's the reason why people were that. So I said, I'm going to my doctor and asking for him to give me a prescription for this medication, even though I'm not a type 2 diabetic. I want it because I heard about the side benefits of it. It controls your appetite. It can control your urges. So I stop eating as much. I will start losing weight, and millions of people start going to their doctors because it only can happen with the doctors writing the prescriptions for it.
right.
They start writing the prescriptions to the thousands of people who are not type 2 diabetics.
And to me,
And
that
they
I mean,
the doctors did.
I know that. And would they be liable for if because they are prescribing this medication to people who do not have type 2 diabetes, and when as soon as they stop taking it, because you have to do it for the rest of your life if you want to keep the weight off, and you have to modify your diet, the way that you prepare your food, the way that you
Okay,
shop for
okay.
food.
I have
You
a
got to do
question.
some kind of walking around, something.
Okay,
I go
okay,
walk around the Walmart for an hour.
okay. Wait a minute. Now, to my knowledge, from what I've read about it, they say to maintain the weight loss. It takes you changing your diet and also exercising. In order for you to be able to cut back on the doses of medication that you're taking,
Okay, speaking wait,
something that you didn't
wait,
have.
hold on. Speaking of that, there among the people who don't have diabetes and the fact that
Yeah.
it's so expensive, I was saying earlier, $900 for this little bitty vial, and it can go up to $1,200. When I saw what
Yeah.
mine was costing, I was like, oh my goodness, this is expensive. But this is going to help prolong my life and me have better health with this chronic condition. And so I called up and asked for my prescription. They said, "Oh no, you can't get it now. You have to wait 57 more days." And I'm like, "Now I get a month supply." I get a month and 2 months. I get like how many months? Well, okay.
Okay, but okay. The point being, wait a minute. When you went to get your medication,
Uh-huh.
okay, the pharmacist told you, okay, that it was a scarcity limit because so many people that were asking for this medication that were type 2 diabetics or were not type 2 diabetics because they had prescriptions to be filled by a larger group of people now.
Mhm.
That it was a shortage. Okay, that wasn't created by you. It was created by the doctors. I mean, now, no, we talk about the demand. Demand only came because people went to their doctors and
Mhm.
said, "I want to start taking this medication." The doctors justified them taking this medication by writing them a prescription.
And saying that you're overweight, and they got the whole body mass index, and where they put the calipers on you and see how large you are, what's going on with your body on the inside, and because it will help you, and it's a tool. People, just let you know, this is a tool. And I have to I don't really too much think about it every day until I can't get my prescription, because people that don't have type 2 diabetes gets it. And that puts us, and there are millions of us, especially people over 62, 65, that that need this medication for survival. It's not like just a glamorous thing. The way it sounds too is like at the rate they're going, because these drugs have exploded on the market. I'm hoping that we don't have the same kind of situation or similar situation to the opioid epidemic.
Okay, well, think about this. In a sense, you do because women. Now, unless I just totally missed the boat.
Well, that's
We're
happening sometimes.
okay. We're coming up on New Year.
Yeah.
When so many people once again be trying to say, okay, I want to redo my life. I want to do better this year. Most people make that commitment to want to lose weight.
Mhm.
Okay, these drugs that are out there now promote the fact that they can help you to lose weight. Now, and if you read this small print, they say to a company that lost from this product, you should modify your diet and exercise to
Right.
get the most effect. Now, if you don't modify your diet, then the drug has to work even harder, because if you don't make any changes at all, but keep saying, here's a miracle drug.
Mhm.
And that's what most people consider these as a miracle drug, because for one, if it suppresses your appetite, I mean, a lot of people say, I just eat and randomly without even thinking. Before, I just eat food, and that's how I became overweight. Well,
Mhm.
now if you're taking
And
you're
or
taking this
stress
medication,
eating. You know,
or
it's
stress eating. Okay, or yeah, and stress eating, but it's something that a lot most people have is stress. Okay, and a lot of people deal with that stress by eating.
mhm.
Okay, so without
They
taking
call
this
that
medication,
emotional eating. I
emotional
used to
eating.
do that.
Okay, but with this medication, it controls your appetite, your desire to want to eat.
Well,
To
physically, it tells your body, that you're full enough. I mean, and
Okay, as I said, so it suppresses your
I
your
think
your desire.
I just hope people understand that taking these drugs, you have to be mindful of what you're eating, what you're doing, and what it's doing to your body.
And
I
I said,
heard this.
and I
I
said,
heard this word. I heard this word. I think it was today or yesterday. It's called micro dosing. What they do
okay,
is instead of they get their little pen and they get it, and what they do is they put like a teeny bit in. They put a teeny bit in to make the drug last longer. And and I know it has to be refrigerated. And then if you're microdosing and you're only putting in a teeny bit at a time, a teeny bit at a time. I don't understand how they believe that a little bit at a time is going to help. You have to get whatever your pen goes up to, because once it gets up to where the dial, it'll stop clicking. And I
okay,
was like,
but wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. You're trying to analyze how somebody else has tried to figure out how they can get more uses out of something that maybe they should not have even started with in the
right,
first
that's what
place.
they're doing.
Okay. But the simple fact that they see commercials just like you see commercials, and the commercials that were out there were for people with type 2 diabetes. Here's a new drug that has come out that will
Mhm.
help you to control your type 2 diabetes, your sugar levels,
Mhm.
and as one of the byproducts of it, will also help you to lose weight
Right.
along with diet and exercise, with changing your
This one
eating
is
habits.
quicker
Okay,
than the
instead of
other
saying
one.
diet, it's changing your eating habits. So you change your eating habits and you exercise along with this medication, you will see a difference in your desire to want to eat. Your weight will go down because you will lose weight if you're no longer eating randomly. Okay, so all these were positive side effects, and that's why they had to run on people going to their doctors saying, write me a prescription for this, even though I'm not a type 2 diabetic, you know, because I want to be able to lose weight, and I don't, and
And
the
I need some
doctors
help.
and the doctors, for as
Okay,
much as they want to
they'll
say,
do it.
the doctor simply said, here's another check for me.
900
I'm
plus
writing this prescription
a
because
month.
there's a benefit for the doctor to
Yeah,
to have written that prescription for you.
$900 a month. That's starting at $900 a month. And
And
a lot of people say, well, listen, I've been overweight so long and I'm so tired of living in this fat body. Let me get something to help me, with my
okay,
weight loss.
think about this too, though. Now, you said that they went to the doctor and said, okay, this is something that I want to take because I hear what it's doing for somebody else.
Mhm.
And for people with type 2 diabetes, I hear that this is, in a sense, a miracle drug that has come onto the market, in the sense that it would help women that they thought would help them lose weight as well if they start taking it, even though they weren't a type 2 diabetic. And did their doctors ever talk to them about, okay, wait a minute, you're not a type 2 diabetic. So this drug is also designed to control your blood sugar levels. Okay, now will it start controlling your blood sugar levels and you're not a type 2 diabetic? About the side effects, because one of the things that also one of the side effects of these medications, it causes you to lose muscle mass.
Yes.
Okay, And so people know, and
And to
that's
lose
what
weight that fast, because it was a fast
so
process.
it gets rid of your muscle mass,
Right.
and that's the only way to accomplish that. And what I'm saying is that how many people actually go to the doctor and say, "Wait a minute, I'm taking this medication. No, what is it going to do to my muscles? What is it going to do for me long term if I continue to use it?" They
Or
haven't
what
done
is it
it.
gonna do, or what can I expect if I stop taking it? I mean, at
Well, you know
$900
what's
a
going to
pop.
happen if you wait a minute. Everybody kind of know what happens if you stop taking most medications. Whatever you were suppressing before by taking this medication will no longer be depressed. That's simple. You will gain the weight back, and most people, unfortunately, your body says when you starve me to force me to lose weight when you're not really
I'm gonna
exercising.
your muscle mass is going to deteriorate. This is the one
What,
that
what,
gets me. This is the one that gets me, and this is many. When they talk about the side effects, and your throat or tongue swells, and you have a rash. Your eye falls out of your face. All this kind of crazy stuff, and they don't look at and what are you taking now? And a lot of them will not ask the doctors nor the pharmacists. I've seen this firsthand, nor the pharmacists. Well, I take medication for my blood pressure. How is me taking this, this weight loss drug? What is it going to do, for the medication I'm already taking? They don't even ask those questions. And I think
what
it's
what
important.
do you say? They don't ask those questions. You know,
You know
wait a
your
minute.
body better than anybody else and your
Okay, but
doctor.
wait a
Who
minute.
and you?
You say you know your body better than anybody else. No, you don't, because wait a minute, you don't diagnose yourself with diabetes. You go to the doctor and he run tests and he tell you that you have diabetes. So you don't know your body better. Now you know that you're feeling something's not working right or going right, and that's why you went to the doctor to start with. There's something I'm not feeling
Right.
like I so you didn't diagnose yourself. You knew something was wrong. You went to the doctor and he gave blood tests and he
But you
took
have
these
to
other
know
tests.
when something is wrong. And
Uh,
this is God rest her soul.
Okay, but wait
I
a
mean,
minute.
let me get the story out. My youngest sister, my youngest sister was the first person that I ever knew that had a condition like diabetes, and it was used to be called sugar diabetes. And and some of the symptoms, well, the major symptoms is you're excessively thirsty. Your skin starts turning colors. You put too much salt on your food because obviously it does something to your taste buds, and and you go to the bathroom all the time. You get thirsty, so you pee and pee and pee. And I had said to my mother, we're sitting at the dinner table, and I've always been a slow eater. And I go to talk to one of my sisters over my brother over here, and I turn around, half my plate is gone. And so one day, we were sitting at the table, and I was like, "Oh, let me try something. Give me a spoonful." I could not eat. It was the worst taste I ever had in my mouth. And so I was telling my mother, so "Mama, I don't know what's wrong with her. She putting a ton of salt on her food. She peeing all the time." She said day, the next day, my mother took her to the 35th Street Clinic. I can't believe I remember that. To the 35th Street Clinic, and the doctors and said that she had sugar diabetes. And so we had to, and it helped the whole dynamic of our family taking care of her, because she had different needs than we did. And she was spoiled rotten, and we know that baby. She
Okay,
was
but she
spoiled.
was also a type 1 diabetic,
Well, that's what I'm
not a type
saying.
2.
No, that's
No,
what I'm
you
saying.
never,
So
you didn't mention that. You didn't mention that.
okay, well, now that you mentioned it, right, she had type 1 diabetes.
Yeah,
And
that's a big
so
difference.
it was a whole dynamic. And to see where diabetes, excuse me, has come from way back here when she was a little girl, all the way up to now, where you can get an injection and it will help you lose weight. I mean, modern medicine is so amazing and so fascinating and so scary, because they'll put on the list, all these different side effects, and then people will call their doctors, and these commercials are very effective. I think people got to pay more attention to the medications that they take and what this drug is going to do, and how, if it's going to interact. Because remember, you guys, the doctors and the medical professional, they are just practicing. That's why they say practice medicine, practice law, because they're learning every day. So you got to practice, and you have to be an informed
Okay, but you're not gonna
consumer.
be a doctor. You're
Huh?
not gonna be a law the average person is not
It's
gonna be
not
a
going to be a
doctor
doctor.
or
It's
a
not
lawyer.
going to be
I mean,
exactly.
so you will not know as much as they do about how the body works. So, there's no such thing as saying that you can diagnose yourself well as a doctor can, because you cannot, because you're not running blood tests to see actually what comes
Okay.
back from the lab report.
No,
I mean,
okay, let me
as an
let me
individual,
just
we
listen.
can't do that.
Let me just make this perfectly clear. That is not the case. You can't say, okay, just like my mother, when I tell my mother takes her to the doctor and they say she's got sugar diabetes. So I knew what the symptoms were. And when I came out here to California, I mean, I knew when I first came out here, I was smoking cigarettes. And I went and bought my first pack of cigarettes, and they wanted an astronomical amount of money for some cigarettes, and you didn't even get a cigarette lighter or a book of matches with it. So when you tell me how much the cigarettes were, I was like, okay, you could leave them here. That won't be something I'll be doing. I never had another cigarette again. Because when I say I'm done with something, I'm done, period. I'm not crossing that bridge going backwards. I'm done. I have not had a cigarette in 35 years and don't desire one. And so you can change your mentality. Nobody ever said the work would be easy. And when you say, and people think this is a quick fix. It is not. It is a tool you could have in your medical toolbox. You need to know. Just like I recognize all the symptoms that I had, I make an appointment with the doctor. He says, "What do you need, dear?" And I said, "I believe I have developed type 2 diabetes. I was peeing every place. I was drinking. I couldn't never quench my thirst, and so I was always in the bathroom. And I went to the doctor and I said, I believe I have developed type 2 diabetes. Well, yeah, and he said they ran the blood test, like you said, they ran the blood test, they did all the stuff, they checked my A1C. My A1C when I got diagnosed was 8.9. It used to be they want us to get it down to 7 or below. Now it's 6 and below. So there's a reason for you to fight for your good health. And it is important. And this is not a quick fix. You don't want, you don't want to have to, and let me say, you stop taking this drug, stop taking it, and you're going to gain all the way back and then some. So I don't want people to think that this is a do all, be all, fix all. You have to be an informed decision maker for your best health.
Well, my only question is, how many people are that informed? When you say people have to be informed, do they really have to be, or do they just trust what they see on TV?
Well,
And what they hear on social media and what they see in the news, because all these outlets was telling people about this new miracle, thing that people had found out about. Okay, that type 2 diabetics were taking to help them with type 2 diabetes. Now they found out that this same medication would also help them lose weight.
That's a side effect, because it was created for people. Novo Nordisk, that's where the Ozempic and most of these drugs come from, and they're in Finland or Denmark.
But that doesn't matter.
No, it does matter to me where it comes from, because anything can happen. And they thinking people thinking that this is a miracle drug. Novo Nordisk. I was talking to the people, because we still know people at Novo Nordisk, and I was asking, I said, what the heck is going on? I got put on Ozempic a few years ago and now I can't get it. She was like, girl, we cannot make it fast enough. People are buying this stuff up, and it was not created for people to lose weight. It was created to help people with type 2 diabetes manage their diabetes better. And a byproduct, a side effect, is you can lose weight, and you can lose a lot of weight. Losing 41 pounds in less than 3 months, that scared me. So I went to talk to the doctor, and she says, well, yeah, that's one of the side effects. And so it's a good side effect for me. And we have an obesity problem in this country, and whatever we can do, we can do. But remember, diet and exercise has to be incorporated. Whatever.
I have a question for you. I could be wrong, but I thought they said that safely someone should only lose from 3 to 7 pounds per month at a time. Okay, if this way had you in 3 months had lost 41 pounds, that's well exceeding what you should have been on if you was doing it safely, losing per month. Okay, that's one of the things when you say look at the side effects, where you as the patient do not, you're only looking at the reward and saying that, okay, I lost 41 pounds in 3 months. Okay, if somebody who's obese and they lose 41 pounds in 3 months, they think that's a miracle.
It's a miracle. I can go in.
It's a
Okay.
miracle. But okay, they weren't asking, and they're not also concerned about any side effects that will come from this because they got the results that they were hoping for.
And
So
this
on how
country is based. I mean, they bring out a new shiny thing, whatever the latest is, and they jump on it. And we know that advertising is so powerful. You got these people, they're talking about this disease, and these people are talking about this, and these are the side effects. And oh, girl, you look good. What did you do? Wegovy. Hey, mother love, what did you do? Ozempic. Well, during that 41 days, that was during the pandemic, so I couldn't go outside, and that was, a lot of us
with
in,
the
in
fact
the
that you
country are
still,
still
because people
still
were
working
depressed.
to recoup. Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said people were depressed during the
That's what
pandemic.
I'm saying.
Okay, so taking something that would help make you look better, it's always been something that would be in
Well, I
fashion.
just
That
want to
is in
say this. If you're doing it to make yourself look better, don't do that because that's going to
fashion.
go away one day. So you have to be mindful and think about the
Okay, they
future.
are being mindful. They're women. They're being mindful. That's why they're taking the medication because they want to look. They want to look better. They
What
want
about
to
their health?
hopefully.
I didn't care what I was going to look like after I lost
Okay,
111 pounds, and it
okay.
just so
You
happened
say
I
you
look
didn't care.
fabulous.
Okay, but you turned out to look fabulous. Okay, you saying is that everybody else turned out looking fabulous. Did I mean, when you rapidly lose that much weight, there are side effects. With the body, losing that much weight. That's what they
Yeah,
tell you to do
that
it with
fast too.
exercise. They tell you to why they tell you to do it with exercise so you tighten up the skin as you're losing the weight, and you won't look where people feel like look like the face is drawn in because they lost so much weight so
Mhm.
rapidly. That's a side effect that most people don't want either, though.
No, right?
So it's a balance in
It's
that, but
absolute.
but to say
Diabetes
that
is a balancing act.
okay,
Stress
but
and
diabetes.
anxiety and depression can send your blood sugar numbers through the roof, and this is a really complicated condition to have. And a lot of them are complicated. I mean, cystic fibrosis is constant. All of these, lifelong diseases, lifelong ailments. And I'm working to make sure that I can be stabilized because I do plan on living to be 142. I'm just saying, and that's not in dog years. I'm
But
just
I mean, we're planning to live that long,
to live
and
well too.
okay, what part of this, and I mean, they tell you right up front, this is to accompany you changing your habits and
And
exercising.
your mentality,
Changing your okay,
it got
but
to come
that's
from here
changing.
first.
Okay, that's changing your
Yes.
habits. Okay, you have to know that if you want the effects of this medication, they say the best way to get the results, you have to have it's a three-part plan: taking this medication, changing how you eat, and exercising.
Mhm.
That those three out of three things, because if you just say all I want to do is lose the weight, then you have loose skin. So now you have another problem that you're dealing with loose skin, and then say you don't
Hello.
feel,
Just a shout out.
and then you don't feel right because you lost the weight without that, without tightening up your skin. That's why the exercise come in because then people have anxieties and feel, and then they start eating again because now they don't look how they when they're losing the weight how they feel as they're losing the weight. Okay, now I have loose skin. Now do I want that? No. Well, if you don't want that, then you have to exercise.
Well, I can let you know, as a seasoned woman who is
Yes.
taking this drug, I wish you
Hmm.
all that don't have diabetes, and what if taking the medication and it's feeding off your muscles, then your heart is a muscle, and all of your muscles around your whole body, it's causing you to lose weight that rapidly. And
But that
it's just,
affects type 2 diabetics too, though.
I know.
Think about what you said, because if the drug also makes you lose muscle, that's across the board, no matter
Uh,
whoever's taking that. So if you don't do exercise to build your muscles back up, all you do is continue to lose muscle mass. That's no matter who is taking the drug, and that's one of the side effects of
mhm.
this is that if you're losing the muscle mass in your body, whether you're a type 2 diabetic or you just a regular person who's choosing to take it because they want to lose weight. Well, it also makes you lose muscle mass. If you don't do anything to counteract that,
You're gonna
you
have a
you
problem.
you no matter what side you're on.
Right.
And that's the part about being more aware of what things that's happening to you when you're doing this, that people are
I
not.
would want you to say for people who are please, please, babies, be mindful of what you're doing. Start helping yourself get to another plane, get to a better space, and start with your brain. Start within in your mind. Turn that tape recorder off. I mean, matter of fact, turn it off. Put it in the shopping cart and take it to the secondhand store. Take it to the Salvation Army. Take it to the Goodwill. Take it to wherever, because you're gonna have to make these decisions. And I'm frightened of the people who are using microdosing, where they're putting a small amount. And the experts are saying, I heard this doctor yesterday say that if you stop taking this, all your weight is going to come back, and it's not a quick fix, to weight loss. It's a
Okay, but
tool in
okay, but
your arsenal
can I
of
ask you
taking
this?
care of yourself.
I mean, isn't that the reason why we have the weight loss industry? The fact that they
Billion
get you
dollar
to,
industry.
okay, they get you to lose weight, but the only way for you to keep that, most of the time, you have to continue doing whatever you were doing to get yourself. If you're exercising to get there, or if you're taking medication to get you to lose weight, whatever you're doing in order to keep that weight off, most of the time you have to keep doing that, or your body will say, okay, well, you're no longer restricting me from either eating like I want to or exercising. Well, then I start doing what I would do anyway, and that's starting to gain weight as you get older.
And it takes people a lot of struggle to lose weight. I mean, you see all these programs out here, and the ones that have come and gone, and the new ones that pop up, and you want to try this and you want to try that. And I glory in the spunk. If you could afford this, don't let it take you down a rabbit hole. Find out what it can do, what it cannot do, because I can say it is not a quick fix. Just
Okay,
get
but
mindful, get
the
in the
whole thing,
space,
I mean,
get in
looking
the
at the
space.
article, looking at the articles that we were
Yeah,
reading, it tells you long-term use, short-term use. What do you want to accomplish when you
right.
take this medication? Okay, short-term use has less effect on your body than long-term use, and you have
But
to
the
know
doctor
that.
said if you do the short term, your body, you don't have enough of the medication in your body to do what you wanted to do, because he said
Okay,
it's ineffective when you microdose. You got to take the whole dose, or don't, because you should not microdose. Now,
okay,
what you
wait a
say
minute.
about that, Mr. Kennedy?
What I'm saying about that, whoever has been microdosing, well, if they notice that they weren't losing weight, then they will stop doing it. Because wait a minute, if microdosing does not work, then you would not lose any weight. So then you wouldn't get the effect of taking the medication at all. If you're no, that's the implant doctor to say, well, if I just give myself a little half a dose right now, and then
Right.
wait a day or two. Well, part of this, from what I know, working with you with Ozempic, you take a shot once a week. So I
Right.
don't understand why someone would say they want. Wait a minute. I do.
Because
I
it's so
take that back.
expensive. I can't
Okay. Okay.
afford that. That's what
Okay. Wait a
people are
minute.
saying.
Okay. And so if it's too expensive, then maybe that shouldn't be one of your remedies for your condition. Because to microdose is probably saying, okay, I buy this, it costs $1,000. Okay, if I took it the way they prescribed it, in a month time, I got to come up with another $1,000. If I microdose, I'm only taking half of what I probably should take, so it may last 2 months. So then I feel like I only paid $500 a month for my weight loss medication versus $1,000 a month. Now, if that actually worked for somebody only taking half a dose, so that it can last for 2 months versus them taking the full dose each week for the whole month and to get the results. I mean, I don't know, because I'm not one of the people who take that to be able to say, well, I tried taking, trying to stretch the medication to see if it will work or not. I mean, I
Right,
don't have any
and
idea.
I get that. I'm fighting with a former healthcare company, because they wouldn't, I needed certain things, and they said, well, you have to wait so and such and so many days. And then the other day, well, might not have been the other day, but let me tell you, I'm a proud member of the Medicare community. And so look, 62 is waiting for you. And I was like, what am I supposed to do in those 57 days to get my medication? And they said, well, you got to call the manufacturer and see if they could get you your own private. And I was like,
Okay,
really?
what they said what you could do is buy it over the counter like anybody
Right.
else.
And I'm like, oh,
I mean,
she did tell me that.
okay, so wait a minute. There are remedies for that.
Mhm.
But the fact is, if you follow in the prescription that you have, you're supposed to get one thing that lasts that you would take it for the entire month. If
But
that
you
is
take
all,
once a week.
that's I said for a month, once a week, every week for a month.
Mhm.
Okay. If that's not working, then that's between you and the doctor to say, okay, wait a minute, this is how I feel when
Mhm.
I'm taking it. This is and if I'm taking it, I according to how I'm taking it, I run out before it's time for my refill.
See, and
I mean,
therein lies why they're microdosing.
okay, well, which has nothing to do with you. See, you mixing them with you because you were talking about you. Okay, people who microdose, okay, are they going to the doctor and saying, okay, wait a minute, write me a prescription for Ozempic. It costs $1,000. Okay, now I'm going, and it's supposed to last for a month, so 4 weeks makes
Mhm.
a month. I'm going to try to stretch it by microdosing to make it last for 2 months. Okay, now if they don't see the effects, is what I'm saying. If they do not see the effects of the weight loss that they were hoping to achieve, well then them microdosing didn't help them at all.
And that's what the doctor said. People have to stop microdosing because you're not getting the full effect of the drug in your system to help curb your appetite. And that's what the weight loss people are saying. I'm not losing any weight, and it's too expensive. Well, see, they told you if you want to get it,
Okay,
and I believe that because they've made it an over-the-counter drug now,
okay, which
and
is
the
up. Wait a minute.
over-the-counter drug is super expensive.
Okay, it doesn't matter if how expensive women because that's on the individual to make that decision if they want to purchase this. I mean, it's just like if you went to Jenny Craig or you went to any other diet program
Mhm.
that's out there. Women, you make that conscious decision to say, okay, I want to change my eating habits. I want to exercise. I just simply want to just take medication to lose the weight without me having to do anything else. I mean, people promote these kind of medications every day that you can take this and you don't have to do anything and watch yourself lose weight. There are other drugs out there that do promote if you take their medication, you'll lose weight and you don't have to do anything.
But you
Oh,
got to. It's
um,
it's a tool in your tool shed. All right, let's move on from, just be mindful, people, to take care of yourselves. Okay, we all know that Sean Diddy Combs is in the penitentiary, not the penitentiary. He's
no,
in
he's not
jail.
in the
I
yeah.
said I changed it. He is in jail in Brooklyn for like a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff. And he got charged with racketeering and transporting people across, the young girls across state line so that they could be doing all kind of unscrupulous activities. And he was, they talked about, putting these kids in neglect and starting us so young. And there was a lawsuit, and we talked about this before. There was a lawsuit with Puff Daddy, P Diddy. You know who I'm talking about. There was an article that said the young lady who came forward, she took a settlement. Well, I mean, you could tell that part of the story a little better. Tell us about the because didn't you say he settled Sean Diddy Combs with the young lady, the first one?
Not the first one in particular. This is his former girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
that you're referring to,
Mm-hmm.
who at the time was not his girlfriend, and she decided that she wanted to sue him for all the things that had happened during their relationship
Mm-hmm.
that she felt was inappropriate that he had her doing and why they were together. His lawyers and her lawyers were talking about some kind of settlement to who put this to bed, for lack of a better word, put
Mhm.
it to rest.
Mhm.
Okay, this did not happen, and she went and she announced to the public at the courthouse that she was filing uh, charges against him for things that he had done to her, the abuse that he had committed to her while they were together as a couple.
Mhm.
The next day, his lawyer and her lawyer settled. So she announced the lawsuit on Thursday. Friday, her lawyer and his lawyer settled that case. But it opened up the Pandora's box of other people coming forward to tell their tell their tales of being with Sean Combs, whether they're true or not. They're allegations that people are saying, "Well, this happened to me. Well, that happened to me." And then recently, a young lady who said she was only 13 at the time when she went to an MTV party, an after party.
Okay, this is where Jay-Z has now come up under the bus, as it were, because
Yes,
she, the same young lady who said that Puff Daddy and Jay-Z uh, sexually assaulted her when she was 13 years old. She's now, this was 20 something years ago, so she's now an adult. And,
yes.
what is your take? Jay-Z said, I didn't do it. I wasn't there. I don't know what she talking about. Oh, Lord Jesus. And are they picking off the big ones in the music industry? What the heck is going on? You do, because
Okay,
it's a
well,
court of public opinion.
one thing
Hmm.
in the court of public opinion and all, we've always known of musicians that are taking advantage of their their followers, their
Hmm.
fans. That this is not uncommon for someone to take advantage of someone who idolize you because you're a great singer, or in their eyes you're a great singer. No, the fact that by amending the suit to include Jay Z in this particular incident. This is not for all the incidents, so just make that clear. We're not trying to. This is not for every incident that he's involved with. That Jay Z has been,
Targeted now.
entangled in.
Mm.
As long as there's one particular woman who said she was 13 at the time and she was
This is
at an
what I want to know. Wait a minute. Not to cut you off, but this is what I want to know. Why is a 13-year-old girl being allowed to be around these adults when she's still a kid? 13 years old, she hadn't even come into herself yet. And then she comes back, what is it, 20 something years later? Because I think she's like in her early 30s. And who let this child, whose tutelage was she under, that they sanctioned her to be at a grown-up party where they knew it was going to be drugs and or alcohol
Okay, no,
involved
they did
in
not.
inappropriate
No,
behavior?
you have. Wait a minute. Correct yourself. No,
What?
it was at
Yo,
an. Okay, first, wait a minute. Correct yourself. They did not know that there was going to be drugs and alcohol at this MTV after party. No, they did not. MTV did not sanction to have
I
drugs
didn't
and
say
alcohol.
MTV.
Well,
MTV
yes, you did. Wait,
sanctioned
wait a
it.
minute. Wait a minute. Yes, you did. You
I
said
did
that.
not say that. I said who
You said
let her be at a 13-year-old be at an after party?
with drugs and alcohol. You said
Okay,
that.
I'm an
Okay.
entertainer. I'm not
Okay.
that naive. I know when we go to parties, they got drugs upstairs, they got drugs downstairs, to be food in the middle. They have stuff going on in the backyard. So somebody as big as they are, they could throw one shindig. I just think it's awful that somebody, and did she tell somebody when she was 13 what had gone on? When she was 15, when she was 28, you've held on to this since you were a child. And
Okay.
now,
Once
as
again.
an adult, Sean
Okay.
Puff Daddy coming under the bus. Now Jay-Z is under the bus. When
Okay.
does it end?
Okay.
When they go to
First of
trial.
all, okay. Wait a minute. First of all, it's about getting a little more information because what do you know about her allegations and to start with? See, when we start talking about
They
her,
had to be credible or they wouldn't file the lawsuit.
they don't have to be credible. You can file a lawsuit. They don't have to be credible. It does not mean that you're going to win a lawsuit simply because you file a lawsuit.
Right.
That okay. So about credibility has nothing to do with filing a lawsuit
Mm-hmm.
at all, because anybody can file a lawsuit whether it's credible or not, as
Mm-hmm.
if they can prove it once they go to court. Because you can file a lawsuit.
Okay, just let me get this off my chest because I don't want to let this. I don't want to let this permeate. Don't you ever tell me to correct myself on my radio program. What is my opinion is the one that counts. Don't you ever say that to me. I ain't got to check myself. I tell you that all the time.
Okay,
It's
well,
called the
you gave out
motherhood.
wrong information. You gave out, wait a minute, you gave out wrong
I did
information.
not give out wrong
You did.
information.
You said, wait a minute. Think
We're
about what
not
you
getting
said.
into this. I said we ain't.
Okay, because
Let's
I,
just stop
I
it right there. Time out. Back to Jay-Z and him being accused of sexual assault of a 13-year-old at a party 20-something years ago. And she's the one that came to light, she got a settlement. So now do you think that they're gonna settle the next person or just wait to trial? Because
okay.
he goes to trial next month, right? Not
No, he
next month,
does not.
next year.
He goes to trial in May of
Oh,
next year.
okay.
Okay, but this lawsuit has nothing to do with the one in May. See, one has nothing to do with the other. What this young lady did is that she first filed a lawsuit against Sean Combs and said that when she was 13 years old, this happened to her. They went back in and just amended their lawsuit to include Jay-Z. That's the difference. The original lawsuit was just only against Sean Combs.
Okay.
And then they just amended it to include Jay-Z. And he's denied the allegations. So, yes, that's the difference. Is that, what she did was that she said this happened to her, and she only accused Sean Combs to start with. Her lawyer went back in and amended the the allegations and to include Jay-Z, and which he has denied these allegations. So we don't know how things will go one way or the other because this was just done just the other day where it was amended to include him, and he's already came out and publicly said no, that's not something that he would do, that he has more morals and scruples than that he would not get himself involved. And hopefully that it would bear out that that is the case, that he did not have anything to do with this, that they included him but he's not guilty. And a lot of times you have celebrities who simply pay people off when they accuse them of doing things because they don't want the publicity to occur. So that's why they do that, is because they don't want you know the people to be talking about them on a regular basis about what's happening. And
I don't know.
okay, you said you want to come up here?
No, I didn't decide. The computer decided for me.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. But that's
Hold on.
oh no, we have just 2 minutes to go.
Okay.
That this is part of why entertainers try to be really careful about where they go and what they're doing and where they're seen and not seen at, because you can have things alleged about what you've done or not done, and you were not even there or you were not involved, and people don't always look at that, and to find that out, they go on whatever they hear and you run with that. Well, that's what I heard. It doesn't have to be true or not. I heard it mentioned on social media, so I'm just assuming that it is the case. And there she is with 1 minute to go.
Okay, this is one of the biggest reasons why the weight loss. I'm going to talk about weight loss. Jay-Z.
Yes.
And having and then Puff Daddy. Why I keep calling him Puff Daddy?
I don't know.
Okay, but anyway, Sean, they said he's notorious for throwing these what did they call it? The freak out.
Yes.
What sexual intimidation, what no drugs, alcohol over there.
Okay, but that's two different things. No, she was accusing him at an MTV event, not one of his events. See, it's two different things. This was at an MTV after party. It was not at one of Sean Combs' parties. See, when people start just throwing everything out there like I'll lump it all together, but it all went together though.
Okay.
One was at MTV. They had an after party after one of their award shows. This is what she said this incident happened at an after party MTV award after party.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do with him and his all white parties or any of his other parties that Sean has given over these many years.
Mm-hmm.
Had nothing to do with that. She was talking about at that particular event that she went to, and the after
I
party
wonder
that
how many
that
more
was there.
there are who gonna come forward.
Well,
Like what
hopefully
happened?
no more. I mean, because I hope this is not the case. I'm not thinking that there are people of less moral and character that they would just have an affair with anybody and everybody that come along.
Okay.
I said I would hope that would be the case.
Okay, we'll see, Mr. Naive. Just remember this, babies. No matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some other love now and then. Peace, babies, for me and Mr. Kennedy. Oh,
Okay.
I gotta go turn it off.